What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Ghouls Gaming and Tech channel. Now we have another best settings video for you guys for a new game that just came out. This is Ready or Not. A lot of people are playing this game. A lot of people are talking about this game. I was live streaming recently and a lot of people in the chat were saying, hey, play this game, play this game. So I will be live streaming this starting next Monday. This video will be out before then, but we're going to do the best visual and gameplay settings for this game so you can get the most out of it. I do these videos for any big game that comes out that we get on this channel, so this video is no different. So we're going to check out some of the best settings to help you guys get the most out of this game. But before we get into that, if you guys are new or returning, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new and you like the content, hit that subscribe button. It's definitely appreciated. It's the best way that I and YouTube knows you guys enjoy this content. And also become a member. Feel free to do so if you want. So we have Ready or Not right here. Now these settings are going to be a little bit I would say they're going to be very important to how you play. This is a very tactical and tactically sound kind of game. It's something you kind of want to do, so we're going to go through this very carefully. Okay, so first thing is the gameplay. Language, English, or whatever your language you want on here. Aim down sight zoom, we want to leave that enabled. Shotgun reload method, I put all shells. I mean, you could put single shell if you want to, but if this game is tactically, you know, surrounded as it's supposed to be, or surround is the wrong word, but if the game is tactical as I think it is, I'm gonna want to reload everything. So all shells. Low ready style, I just put it at low. Default command, I want them to move to a certain area. Instead of, you have other options, they can go to cover, hold, resume. I just think I'm going to be directing them a lot more. So I just put that to move to. Door command, I think the most tactically sound thing to do is put like a mirror under the door. You're not knocking, you're not twisting the door handle, you're not making noise. So maybe putting that mirror under the door, you can see your enemy, or if there is an enemy on the other side, you can see that first before anybody does anything crazy. You can do mirror for traps. You can check a mirror for traps. Cover, check door. Sometimes stacking up, you still got to make a move after that, so you still don't know what's on the other side of that door. So to me, that's kind of pointless. Checking the door, you could end up getting some rounds coming at you, so I wouldn't do that. But that's why I put mirror under the door. Open door command. So when you do want to open a door, I put move, flash, bang, and clear, because even if there's civilians inside that room, a flash bang will not hurt them. It will just disorient them. So if there is enemies on the other side, you can still accomplish the same thing. It'll disorient them. So the move, flash, bang, and clear, to me, is the safest bet. You don't want to do gas, because if there is civilians there, you don't want to gas civilians. That's just my opinion. Move, sting, and clear, I wouldn't recommend that. And you have move and clear. Move and clear, if there's enemies over there, they're not disoriented, you could take some rounds. So I suggest move, flash, bang, clear. Unlock door command, same thing. Open, flash, bang, clear, same thing. Lock door command, I want them to try to pick that lock. Granted, it can make a sound, but let's just see if we can get it open first. Kick and clear, if you kick it, you alert the enemy. They could send rounds your way. I wouldn't recommend that. C2 and clear, again, wouldn't recommend that. Shotgun and clear, wouldn't recommend that. So that's why I put pick lock. Score display, we can leave all this enabled. I did enable show compass, just so I like to know north, south, east, west, just in case you give a command. Somebody says, hey, we got tangos east of our location. You know, I want to know where they're talking about. Showing inputs, all that enabled. And I linked my Epic account. All right, graphics. You only have two modes. You have fidelity and you have performance. I saw what it looks like on fidelity mode. The frames per second is horrible. It's probably like 30 frames. This is a game that you want a smooth image as possible, so I would recommend leaving it in performance. It's a lock 60 frames, but also this game just came out, so the quality of it looks amazing in performance. So leave that, or not leave it, change it to performance if it didn't already come in performance. Motion blur intensity, I brought that down to 20. It was originally on 24. I brought it down to 20 because I don't want too much motion blur to distort my image. Bounce light, leave that enabled. Adjust brightness, it's at 2.2. I did have to adjust the HDR settings when I first got into the game, just to make the image very lightly lit. It'll be different for whatever you're playing it on, so that's you guys rule of thumb for that. World FOV and weapon FOV, field of view, if you don't know what that means. I put it maxed out because when you start the game, you will notice it's too condensed and you can't see as much. I don't want to be tunnel vision and looking directly over my barrel for the most part, most of the time. So I would max those field of views out, and I'm just kind of relating that to how I play Call of Duty. This pretty much is the same interface as Call of Duty. It's first person. You see your weapon, you see your sights, you see everything in front of you and around you. So max those out so you can see the most. And when you expand that field of view, how do you want it to expand? Do you want to expand vertically or horizontally? So I put horizontal. And it says, warning, high field of view may cause visual artifacts. Just some distortion here and there, maybe, but from my experience, it was completely fine. So next thing, audio, we leave this all the same. Music volume, we left that at 70. I don't think any of this stuff is copyright. And subtitles, we leave that off, not much there. If you have a keyboard, your settings, you set them up how you want, so I'm not going to get too deep into that because everybody's keyboard setup is different on what keys they like to do certain things on, so I'm not going to mess with that much. You do it to your liking, and just keep in mind we were playing this on the PS5 Pro. All right, accessibilities, we're not going to mess with that. And then the last thing, which is the most important, one of the most important to me, is your controller settings. So again, I'm relating this to Call of Duty. The sensitivity was way too lax to me. It started off on 55 for most of these. I cranked it up to 75 because when you see you swing left and right, up and down, it's way too slow how it initially comes at 55. So I cranked it up to 75, and I found that's a good spot. You don't want it too sensitive all the way to 100 because you're just going to be slinging your camera all over the place. You're going to get motion sickness. So 75 is where you want to put those. Now, aiming down sight sensitivity vertically and horizontally. 75 wasn't cutting it enough. You will notice when you're aiming in with your firearm on this game, when you're holding that L trigger, it's still too slow. Even if it's on 100. I put it on 100 and it's still too slow. So yeah, 100 is going to be your best bet, but to me, at least for me, it's still too slow. When I press that button, I guess I'm just so used to Call of Duty, I need them to aim immediately, but it's kind of this is the motion. That's how fast it is, instead of a quick aim. So put that on 100. Look acceleration, that's maxed out. Movement enter dead zone, I didn't mess with those. As I continue to play the game, maybe I might tweak those a little bit, but other than that, I probably won't. Adaptive triggers, shooting resistance, that's just to give you some realism. You can leave those enabled. And then you have motion sensor active mode, left that always on. Speaker intensity, all that stuff, all this I'm leaving as it comes. Now you have some other stuff right here. If you want to change your stick layout, your button layout, that's completely up to you. So I won't give you guys recommendations on that because it's completely custom to what you want. And then you have the item and command wheel right here. So it's default on PlayStation. That's how I want to leave it. So those are the best recommended gameplay and visual settings for this game. I'm super excited to play more of this. I will be streaming this, so if you want to check that out, by all means. I do have a tactical background, so it will be a little bit more realistic and more I guess precise than maybe some other gamers playing this, because I'm kind of thinking with my tactical brain and my gaming brain. So I think that's going to be a pretty interesting dynamic. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And as always, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.